Hi, my name is Tanner Canning and I am in the 8 o'clock block of classes for Multicultural Education. Yeah. So, I'm doing a video journal as opposed to emailing a journal because it's way more fun for me and hopefully more fun for you. I don't know. It may be a huge waste of time for you and you're like, oh, why won't he just email it to me? Well, that's because telling stories should be a face-to-face thing or face-to-screen on YouTube thing. That's how stories should happen. I love people like Olin Rogers and Mike Birbiglia who just make videos and put them, you know, places for people to see. And they tell stories, and it's way more fun that way. And anyway, when I think of journaling, I think of just telling stories, because that's the whole point, you know, telling how aspects of this class relate to our daily life. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Anyway, it was Fall Festival in Belgrade today, and it was great. That's actually why I'm wearing this cool visor, because I was in a parade. I was in a parade today. I was in a big, fancy parade. It was really cool. Where I work is an elementary school. I do the after-school program at a school called Bridgeview, and our after-school program had a float in this Fall Festival parade. And again, I drew this hat. It's really fancy, and I was in the parade. That was a big star, and it was really cool. So actually, that's what my story is going to be about today. Not the Fall Festival parade or how I'm the star, because I wasn't really. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the after-school program because I work there. You might as well use it, right? Am I right? Okay, so I'm going to talk about last Thursday, specifically. Do you know those moments when you feel like the worst human being on earth? Because I don't. No, I do every day. But I really felt that last Thursday. And it came down to stresses with teaching children how to braid. Pathetic. Super pathetic. But I need to remind you that you're on my side, okay? Okay, now that I have that established. So, essentially, because it's Fall Festival today, that means that Fall Festival is the end of Homecoming Week in Belgrade. And the end of Homecoming Week, right before Fall Festival, is Spirit Day. So, within my 15 years of experience in the Belgrade School District, I've never once celebrated Spirit Week. So this was new for me. And it was pretty cool. So we had to teach the kids to braid Spirit Day bracelets. Cool. It was awesome. Anyway, I had a group of 6 or 7 kindergartners. And these kids they're great. They're well behaved. They do what you tell them to do. But I had this job of teaching these kids to put together these bracelets. The sad thing is I don't know how to braid. I've never braided. That doesn't play to my skill set. I mean, I just don't, I don't sit around and braid my hair. It's too short. That would hurt. It would hurt. So I don't just braid things, and I had to ask my boss, hey, real quick, how do you braid something? And then she laughed, and then she was like, are you serious? And then I was like, yes. And then she's like, oh, great. And anyway, what she told me just like doesn't compute in my brain. Like the act of putting strings in places doesn't make sense. You tell me how to do calculus, I can do it. You tell me how to braid something, I can't. Pathetic. Anyway, I was in charge of teaching these kids to do bracelets, right? And so as I was doing these bracelets, what I was doing was just incorrect. And then I had this awesome little girl like take charge and be like, Mr. Tanner, I know how to do it. And I was like, great, teach us how to do it. And so she starts doing it and it's completely wrong. And I felt terrible, but I didn't want to be like, you're completely wrong. So she starts helping the kids and that's awesome. And then I started looking around and one kid is like running out the door and I like go and get him and I'm like, why would you do that? And then one kid is like rolling around on the floor and I pick him up and I'm like, sit down, why would you do that? And then another kid's like under the table and like, within a second. Like, within a second, they're doing these things. Like, 1 minute, they're sitting in front of their string that they're supposed to be braided, and the next, they're like, so that was weird, and I had to deal with that. And I got everyone together, and I started looking at these kids, and I started thinking in my head, every single one of them has no idea what's going on. And then I looked at myself, and I was like, I don't even know what's going on. And it hit me. Everyone learns different. Someone can't just tell me and show me how to do it. Like, I gotta do it myself. And I started thinking about the kids. Every single kid had a different way of learning. They were diverse in their learning needs. And so I sprang into action. I run and I get a book for the kid that's like rolling around on the floor and doesn't want to do anything. I'm like, great, I wouldn't want to do it either. So I took pity on him and I got him a book, and then he looked at the book and he's like, I hate this book, I can't even read, I'm in kindergarten. And I was like, wow. And so we go and get a different book, and he's like, I hate this book too, and I'm like, really? Didn't see that coming. And then we get him a picture, and he's colored and he's fine. Anyway, this other kid just starts crying because he's so stressed out, and I felt so bad because my lack of leadership and my lack of overseeing the stupid braids is making someone, like, cry. That's not good. We don't want that. So his sister is like, she's you know, with us, and she is a pro braider, at Praber, and she comes over, and she sees her brother crying, and she takes over, and she starts braiding, and then pretty soon all the kids are looking at her, and she teaches them how to do it. A first grade girl took my job, because I couldn't handle it. Pretty ridiculous, right? I don't know if this is a story I should be telling to my superiors at college who sign off on my recommendation. Now that recommendation, they're crumpling it up and they're throwing it away and saying, what an idiot, let's not give that guy a recommendation. But you know what, I learned something. You can't just tell kids to do, you know, put this string here and then put this string here. Because obviously, like me, who I've been in school for way longer, I've been in school like 10 or 11 years longer than those kids, it didn't even make sense to me. So why the heck would it make sense to a kindergartner? Every single kid had a different way of learning, and I should have been equipped to address that. So next time you ask me to braid something and teach kids how to braid something, I'm going to come up with YouTube videos, I'm going to come up with a song, I'm going to come up with artwork, write a children's book, publish it. It's going to be awesome. Make a movie based off that children's book. Maybe. George Lucas will direct it. But I learned something. And that's the point of being in a job, you know, that you're studying, is that every single day you take away something new. And that's what I do every day. And hopefully I will become a better teacher based on that experience. There you go.